On the 1-year anniversary of a series of brutal murders in Miles County, brother and sister Jonathan and Sienna are preparing for what they expect to be a normal Halloween. Things are far from it, however, as Art the Clown returns to terrorize the town. The siblings are running and fighting for their lives, as it seems like Art the Clown is specifically after them. This is Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 is the sequel to 2016's Terrifier, and this is quite possibly the best example of word of mouth helping a film, because I wasn't necessarily interested to see this film until I just heard so much about it, both good and bad, but not in the way you'd expect. And as I like to do here, I go see films in a theater, so I had to seek this film out to find a movie theater that was playing it, and luckily I found one. Of course, I went and watched the first Terrifier before this film, and I was relatively unimpressed. It was an entertaining bad movie, but anytime Art the Clown wasn't on screen, it was a pretty bland movie. Terrifier 2, however, is wild. And the most wild thing about it is that it's a genuinely good movie. Maybe it was because my expectations were lowered because of the first one. I expected this to be a so bad it's good kind of movie. And while it definitely has its cheesy B-movie slasher flick feel, it has all of the makings of a genuinely good movie too. Reprising his role from the previous film is David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. He plays this character so well, and I mean this in all sincerity, it's scary. I understand some may say, oh wow, a clown killer, how original. But Art the Clown is just so much different than all the other ones you can think of. Plus, technically, he's more of a mime, because he's black and white and he doesn't speak, but still, clown. Almost all of the kills in this movie are extremely drawn out, and he finds it incredibly funny. Art the Clown is a ripe asshole in every sense of the word. He makes Joker and Pennywise look like stand-up citizens. He relishes in everything that he does throughout this film. And I'm not even talking about his kills. There's one scene in a costume shop that is just comedy gold. And David Howard Thornton owns every second of it. Just an absolutely fantastic performance. As I mentioned, any scene in Terrifier 1 that didn't feature Art the Clown was just a bit slow to me. I didn't enjoy the characters as much in that one, but I can't say the same for this one. Leading the film is Lauren Lavera and Elliot Fullman. I really enjoyed the brother and sister dynamic that they brought to this film. I thought it was much more interesting and much more compelling than the two bimbos from the first movie. Also, Lauren Lavera may very well just be my new favorite final girl. Just saying. Now, something you've probably heard about this film is that it's gory. So much so ambulances have been called to theaters because of this film. To be honest, that was kind of the reason I was hesitant to see the film. It was a genuine health risk to me. Eventually, I heard so much about the film, I said nut up or shut up, and I went to go see it. And yeah, admittedly, I find the film to be more gross than it is scary. However, if you find gore scary, then this absolutely is not the film for you. Blood doesn't bother me too terribly much. I am the type of person, whenever I have to get my blood drawn, I watch the IV go in. I don't know why. I have always been like that since I was a kid. It doesn't bug me. But I can definitely see how someone can have such a negative reaction to this film. It's not a film for everybody. Not in the slightest. But if you got the stomach for it, it's definitely interesting. The prop and effects department did a fantastic job. Another thing I really liked about this movie compared to the previous film was the addition of supernatural elements. It makes Art the Clown and what he does seem less like a generic slasher. Plus, this gives Art some really interesting lore. Something that I would love to see them build on in the third film. Because let's face it, this movie had a $250,000 budget and it made $10 million. We're getting a third film. Now, this film is almost an hour longer than its predecessor, and you can definitely feel that in some scenes. There are a lot of scenes in this movie that are drawn out a lot more than I feel like they needed to be. Some of them worked, adding a good amount of suspense and humor, a surprising amount of humor, but some of them could have been cut down just a little bit shorter, especially since in some of the cases, you probably know exactly where this scene's gonna go. But aside from that, I can't really find anything else to nitpick about with this film. It's an insanely entertaining slasher film with a fantastic villain and some solid heroes. And quite possibly the best Halloween film we got this year. Which is saying a lot because we got a Halloween film this year. I apologize for this review being like a month late. How long was this in theaters? For like a month? I don't know. There was a point last month where I was just kind of over horror movies for some reason. I put a lot of the blame on Smile for just jump scaring me to death for what felt like no reason. It was a last-minute choice for me to see this film, and I'm glad I did. Thank you all so much for watching this review. Here's tonight's top 10! Clowns. They work everywhere from the circus to Washington, D.C. But who are my top 10 favorites? Well, you're about to find out. Number 10 is Zombozo. Had he not been scared off by Ghost Freak and replaced by his henchman in Ben 10 Classic, maybe he would be higher. Number 9, Ronald McDonald. Sure, maybe his food is trash, but sometimes trash just hits the right spot. Number 8, Pennywise. He gets beaten by literal bullying in the second film, but Tim Curry's performance in the original miniseries is iconic. Number 7, Art the Clown. He's literally why I'm doing this video, so of course. Number 6, Joker. Which one? That one. The one you're thinking of right now, as long as it isn't Jared Leto. Number 5, me. I didn't top my own lip. Number 4, Sweet Tooth. Honestly, the bigger clown here is Sony not making a new Twisted Metal. Number 3, Sideshow Bob. Sure, he may get bested by an 8-year-old every time, but you just can't beat Kelsey Grammer. Number 2, Adam the Clown. Honestly, the bigger clown here is Capcom for not making a new Dead Rising. And my number 1 favorite clown is the entire company of Blizzard. Seriously, they want me to pay how much for an Overwatch skin? That's just ludicrous. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I am insanely grateful for the love my Black Panther Wakanda Forever review got. I sincerely did not expect that review to blow up as much as it did, but I am eternally grateful for it. And thank you to everyone who's watched it, liked it, and subscribed because of it. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, and be sure to hit that like button and ring that bell to be notified when my next review drops. Until next time, I'm Quentin Dunaway, hoping you will keep it cinematic.